What is up, everyone? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's Rini, and today we are back with another episode of Ramadan Reminders. And as per usual, you can watch the series from YouTube or listen to the podcast version on the link in the description box below. So, with that being said, let's just get right into it. Do you believe in miracles? I used to be this over realistic person that doesn't believe in miracles, not even the slightest hint of miracles in this world. And I used to think that miracles only exist in fairy tales. And so I never really thought about it. And when I say miracles, most people would think about a massive thing like being saved from the death or something that is actually entirely impossible to happen. But now I know miracles can be little things too. Not very long ago, I just experienced it myself actually. So, to give you a little bit of context, at the time of this story happened, I had almost no money. Like, no money left on me. Not zero, but almost no money left on me. Because we used up all of our money just the day before for something so urgent, and my payday was not after a few days. So, money was real short, and I remember only having like something around $30 if you convert it to dollars. So I was really on a tight spot. No savings, no nothing. And at the same time, somehow, I don't know, somehow, I got a wound in my right eye. It was a small wound, but I remember it was so painful that I was so scared. I mean, if it was something like a wound on my body or maybe just like a flu or something, I would probably find another way out instead of going to the hospital. But this was about my eye, and if not treated, I could go blind. At least that's what I had thought at that time. Okay, so then I went to the hospital, thinking I'll just find out what's wrong with my eye and then just figure out everything else later. I'll deal with it later. I was just hoping that my money could at least cover the examination fee. I just hoped that it would be enough for that. And after I went, I got examined. The doctor said that my eye got wounded and would most likely leave a scar. And I was like, man, I couldn't care less about a scar at this point because I was just relieved that it was treatable. And then she also said that I would be needing a special eye drops and other meds as well. So she gave me the prescription. And then I went to the cashier or whatever you call it, cashier at the hospital, yeah, to pay for the examination fee and also the meds. Now, I had my eyes treated before and I knew this wasn't gonna be cheap. So as I waited for the nurses to fetch my meds, I kept on praying that the money in my pocket would be enough to pay it all. I just kept praying like that. And I'm telling you, this is real. When I went to pay for the meds, the nurse told me that some of the meds were not available at that time. So the total of the amount that I had to pay was cheaper. And the total amount of the bill was the exact same amount that I had in my pocket at that time. I mean, what are the odds, right? I swear this was so unreal, but this is what happened. It's a miracle. So then I paid it and I went home and I thought, man, you know what? I'll deal with the rest of the meds later. I'll think about it later. And when I arrived at home, I told my mom what happened, and I still had to go out and look for the rest of the med, but I didn't have any money left. So I thought maybe I should just wait for a few more days until my payday to buy the rest of the meds. But I was also scared that my wound would get worse. I mean, it's my eye. It's just scary. After I told my mom all the story about what happened, my mom said that someone who borrowed money from her just returned the money to her when I went to the hospital. So she told me I could just use that money to buy the rest of my meds. And I was like, oh my God, another miracle. So I took the money and went out to look for the meds that I needed. I rode my scooter and used some of the money to fill up the gas as well, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get the meds at all. So yeah, it's either the gas or no meds at all. I didn't know how much the rest of the meds would cost, but I thought to myself that I would just buy what I can for now and deal with the rest later. But to my surprise, after I went to the drugstore and bought all of the meds that I needed, the money that was left in my pocket was the exact same amount that I needed to buy the rest of the meds. So I was like, oh my god, miracles after miracles. What just happened? What happened to me that day was just simply too much of a miracle in a day for me to not consider it as a miracle. And after I got home, I got all of my meds. I thought to myself, hey, miracles do exist after all. Now, the reason I share this story to you guys is not to ask for sympathy or anything like that at all, because I'm perfectly fine now, and this day was just one of those days in my life, and it's alright. Things happen. Everybody has one of those days. I shared this story because I really hope that you guys can also find little miracles in your life, especially for those of you who has been hurt, who has been disappointed, or through life so much that you don't believe in such things anymore. Miracles do exist. You just have to look a little bit deeper and look for it from a different perspective sometimes. And also, let's remind ourselves that sometimes what we have right now, what is normal for us, is something that is considered to be miracles for somebody else. So let's not take anything for granted. Everyone is facing hardship at times, and I'm praying that all of you can also find your miracles, especially at the times when you need it the most. That's all for today's Ramadan reminder, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on my next videos. Bye.